What down, family? Welcome to Project 345 episode. Hold on. Damn, my bad, y'all. But we on episode 8. If you don't know by now, I am Run JLC, and I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me on this week's episodes. We talk about how I bulletproof my running and manage to stay injury-free during training. But before we get into that, we got to recap week 8 of training. So let's see how it went. All right, so we topped off at 47.9 total miles for the week. Don't ask me why I didn't get that 0.1 to make it 48 even. I don't know why I didn't, I just didn't. But it was a maintenance week for me, meaning that the intensity stayed high with my workouts, but the overall volume was about 8 miles less than what I put in for week 7. And overall felt pretty good. All right, let's get into the workouts this week. Not the best performances on my workouts. I ran too fast. I was not on pace like I should have been. And I know it looks good on Strava, it looks good on Garmin to put out some faster runs, but I have to stay within myself and I have to be smart about my pacing, because if I want to run the race that I want to run, I have to be smart in doing so. And that starts with smart training. And I wasn't very smart or disciplined this week, but let's get into them. So on Tuesday, I had 2 by 3 mile intervals with a 1 mile recovery between them. On that first set of 3, I was at about an 8:13 average, which is way faster than what I need to be. Second set of 3, I was right at 8:20, which is right where I want to be. 8:20, 8:25, that's the pace that I said I should be running for my strength workout. So did a little bit better on that second set of 3, but that first set was just way too high. Now we fast forward into Tempo Thursday. This was my last week of 9 mile tempos, and I was just way too fast, way too fast. My average was 8:20 for the tempo, and I should be at 8:30 to 8:35. So no excuse. I gotta do better, and I will do better. This is my last week of 9. I jump into 10 now, so it's getting a lot more marathon specific. And like I said, I'm gonna do better this week. All right, so for the long run, I had 10 on the schedule this week and ended up completing that 10 at about a 9:04 average. Weather was very cooperative. I ran a route that was pretty much shaded as well too, so I got a lot of shade. But it was a good run. I took one beta fuel gel with me. Didn't even bring any hydration, and I felt good. Like, it was just a great way to end off a maintenance week with an easy 10 miles on the legs. So overall, I give myself about a B- this week. I did do much better prioritizing recovery, like I said I wanted to do a couple weeks ago when I had my last maintenance week. But my workouts are just way too fast. I got to learn how to dial that in order for everything to really click the way it's supposed to. Now, I know y'all want to get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, but real quick, let me let y'all know what this next week is going to look like. So this is my last peak week of training before I go into whatever the Hansons call a taper. As I look at, that don't look like no damn taper, but we'll get into that in another episode. So for my total mileage on the week, I will have 57, which will be my top mileage that I will reach. For my Tuesday strength workout, I'm going back to the 3 by 2 mile intervals. For my tempo Thursday, I up it to 10 miles on the tempos now. And then I'll have my last 16 mile long run for the week. Now, we all know running as a sport that can be very unforgiving on our bodies. So it's important that we come up with strategies that allow us to get to our goal races in our best shape and as healthy as possible. So here's what I do. All right, so for me, the first and most important thing that I do is prioritize my easy runs. I run easy. I mean easy. So I probably run a lot easier than what my program wants me to run. But I know for myself that's going to make sure I'm able to do my quality runs on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I'm going to be able to show up for my long run. So one thing that helps me out with that is my Garmin heart rate monitor. Now, I like the chest strap because it's a lot more accurate than a lot of the wrist-based heart rate monitors that you're gonna get. Now, I don't totally rely on this because you can get false readings sometimes. And this is all about your cardio, right? We wanna make sure that our easy runs is easy on our heart, easy on our lungs, but also easy on our body. So on top of wearing the heart rate monitor, what I will do is, one, I'll run in familiar areas. So I'm not gonna do an easy run or recovery run in somewhere that's new. 2, I'm gonna make sure that it's relatively flat as well too. I don't wanna be running a lot of hills, uphill or downhill, because it's just too taxing on the body. 3, I like to run in an area that I know may have a little bit of shade if it's gonna be relatively hot or sunny during that day. And those things just help me make sure that I'm keeping everything easy and I'm able to show up for those quality runs when it's time to show up. All right, number 2 is my pre-workout routine. So before I get into my quality sessions, I always want to make sure that my body is well prepared and primed to go. So before I do anything, I always start off with either a mile or about a mile and a half warm up. So if you ever follow me on Strava or Garmin, you're going to see a warm-up run first, and then you're going to see that quality run afterwards. Now, after I get done with my warm-up run, I don't even get into the run right then and there. I pull out my trusty tools. I always start off with the jump rope, and then I got some mini band stuff that I want to do. So usually with the jump rope, I like to get between 200, 300 skips of various movements. And then with my mini band, I have a nice routine that I do just to get the hip flexors, get the glutes primed and ready to go. And then I'll do a little bit of dynamic movement. So I just want to make sure that my shoulders, make sure that my torso, make sure that my hips, knees, and ankles are ready to go. And then finally, I get after it and get going for my quality session. All right, number 3, the post-workout routine. So as soon as I'm done with my workout, I'll get a little bit of hydration. And then within 2 minutes, I'm hitting my cool down run. So just like the warm up, it's gonna be between a mile, mile and a half, just depending on whatever the workout calls for. And that's just to flush fluid around, just getting everything moving around again. You don't wanna just stop and just let everything get stagnant and get real tight. So always finish off with a cool down run. Now, in my trunk, I like to keep the foam roller and the massage gun handy as well too. If I have the space, the time, and the opportunity, I want to make sure that I'm rolling out and I'm hitting that gun over some key areas that I know for me can be problem areas like my calves, my quads, my hamstrings, and my glutes. Now, when I get home, if I have the time again, I do own a TENS unit. So I love this little TENS unit. I usually hook this up around my quads, about right where my knee is, hamstrings, and my low back. Those are areas for me that tend to tighten up a lot after runs. So I just like to put the TENS unit on, make sure I'm getting some extra massage and loving on my body after that tough workout. All right, number 4, we got strength training. Now, me personally, I am a kettlebell junkie. I love the kettlebell, especially when it's time to train for marathons. I think that they're very convenient and applicable for what I like to do. Now, bodyweight training and other strength implements will suffice as well. But my main premise for this is to make sure that I'm minimizing as much muscle mass loss as possible during training. I already know when I'm putting in all of these miles and I'm breaking down my body as much as I am, that I'm gonna lose a little bit of muscle mass. So I wanna make sure on top of the kettlebell training, I'm also upping my protein intake. Now you'll hear a lot of people talk about upping your carbs, upping your fat intake. I like to up my protein intake to make sure that my muscle mass breakdown is as minimal as possible. Now what I do to check that is I do have an in-body home unit, and my strategy is every 4 weeks, I like to check my weight and then check my skeletal muscle mass and my body fat to make sure that I'm losing way more body fat than I'm losing muscle mass. So that just lets me know that I'm moving in the right direction. So for my 5th and final strategy, I like to prioritize journaling and sleep. Now, I know journaling may seem a little odd to most folks, but with me, I journal after each and every run, and I'm just looking for trends. I'm just looking to see like what's going on in my training. Is there things that I can do differently if I'm hurting at the beginning of the week? Am I still hurting at the end of the week? Just things that I can look back on and make sure that I'm taking care of and continually moving in the right direction. Now, when it comes to sleep, I'm gonna be honest with you, the quantity of sleep part, I suck at. I'm not gonna be that person that's getting 8 hours of sleep each night. My life just ain't set up like that right now. But what I will do is try to prioritize the quality of sleep that I'm getting. So what does that look like? I'm running a lot already, so when I am sleeping, I'm getting some pretty good sleep. So I like to get in frequent naps throughout the day if I can. Before I go to bed, I'm a tea drinker, so I love chamomile tea, and if something has valerian root in it, it's gonna knock me out and I'm gonna be in a deep REM sleep. And then also trying not to eat after 9 p.m. It's hard. And sometimes my kids got to get on me. But I try not to eat after 9 p.m. And when I am successful at doing that, I just notice that the quality of sleep that I have is a lot better. So simple strategies, but I'm staying consistent in making sure that I'm taking care of my body. And because of that, I was able to get my first month over 200 miles and still be healthy and ready to keep moving into October. So I'm now less than 3 weeks away before I toe the line in the Indianapolis Monumental Marathon. And I'm very confident that I'm ready to tear some stuff up when it's that time. All right, man, that's it for this week. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me, and I apologize for not having an episode for you last week. Some of y'all may know I was the victim of an unfortunate incident, but I had to get my mind right. I had to get my mentals right. I had to take care of business in order to be able to come back this week, and I'm here, and y'all showing up, and y'all watching, and I appreciate that. If you're rocking with me still, go ahead, click that like button. If you want to continue hearing from me, click that subscribe button. And if you think this information is relevant, go ahead and share this with some of your running buddies and running family out there. But to all those that are training for your marathon, Chicago is coming up this Sunday. Payment blessings to you all. Congratulations to everybody that became Berlin legends. And for those that are still in your training, payment blessings to you all. I hope and pray that y'all continue training injury-free and healthy. Other than that, y'all be strong, y'all be courageous, and y'all be transformed. It's your boy, Run JLC. I'm out. Peace.